Welcome back to the Dean Obeidallah Show. It is Friday, February 27th, the last Friday of February, and it's time for What Just Happened. We have three great returning champions. Our buddies Carolina Hidalgo is here, comedian, podcaster, co-host of No Dogs in Space, Professional Friends podcast, probably other podcasts I don't even know about at this point, and she's a frequent guest on many SiriusXM shows. Carolina, how many podcasts? Is this a podcast within a podcast?
It might be. This is Carolina Hidalgo's Dean Obeidallah's show, so I don't know if you know
what just happened with Carolina Hidalgo. Well, at the same time as Dean Obeidallah, you're like the Russian nesting doll of podcasts. It's like a podcast within a podcast. It's like Inception. Also back, Scott Blakeman, my buddy, comedian, countless national TV appearances. We co-created Stand Up for Peace. He's got a podcast within a podcast within a podcast.
I just did it minutes ago, but this is the only podcast I'm on in this moment.
I'm glad that you're here. Podcasting and Substacking are the same now. Like everyone has it. People are like, I'm on Substack. I'm like, it's like telling me you're on Facebook. Like it's not anything impressive. And look who's here. Pete Dominick, my buddy, comedian, I'd say activist as well. Host of Stand Up with Pete Dominick that you should 100% subscribe to. Great guy, makes people laugh and smarter all the time, which I still love. That's my thing now, but that was really good. I like that. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Dean, is it? And Scott and Caroline, great to be here with you. Thank you very much for having me, my friend.
Oh, my God. So, Pete, by the way, last time you were in some weird, you were at your parents' house. How are your parents?
That's right. My mom and dad were in the hospital because they had a car accident. So now they have a podcast. It's called We're Doing Good.
We're Doing Good with Pete's mom and dad. All right, so let's talk about who's not doing good. Trump's State of the Union. I couldn't watch it. I read it. Yeah. I watched clips of it. It was the longest. It's 2 hours of lies and idiocy and performance art, and it doesn't even make much of a difference anymore. Did anybody watch it? Let me just ask the whole thing. Anyone? Carolina, Scott?
No. I watched 90 minutes, but wow. You know what it really reminded me in comedy terms, since we're all comedians, it was like some kind of an open micer who brought the whole audience and they had to indulge him. But at a certain point, it's like, give him the light. We got another show. This is something, and he doesn't get off, and it was so pointless. I mean, I had to get up early, but it was.
Are you saying
it's a reality show?
Yeah. Andy Engel was booking it?
Yeah, Andy Engel. That's how I felt. That's how I felt too, Scott. It was like watching Dean's early act.
Oh, that's great. And it's watching Pete right now in his prime. It's all the same. It's like my early days, and Pete has just gotten to that level. People don't know these bringer shows in New York City and probably all over the country. That Carolina, they have them in LA where people have to bring a number of audience members to get on stage. That was the bringer show that Scott was referring to. Do they have them by you, Carolina?
I have no idea, actually. I don't even know. Like when I go perform, I have no idea who's there. If anyone's there to see me, and if one person is there, or like my mom or something, then I guess I brought somebody. So, hey, I make my own bringer show.
You just show up and just start performing at random locations?
It's happened before. Hell, I did it for SiriusXM. You remember me hanging out in the lobby and then to get going with Rich Vavas and doing a show. And sometimes you just got to show up. And maybe that's what Trump just did. He just showed up, and then they gave him a microphone, and here we are.
It's to me, some of the things that stood out, and I only want to touch on like one or two, but one is he literally bragged about taking 2.4 million people off of food stamps. He said, we lifted them. No, you didn't lift them. You cut them in terms of funding to pay for a tax cut for the wealthy. That's like going, well, we cut ACA subsidies, so we lifted people off their health insurance. You see how we lifted them up off their health insurance into death? Pete, I mean, the level, it's not even cruelty. Somebody wrote that, he read it, and there's so much in the speech to fact check. But to me, that kind of jumped out as like a level of cruelty and bullshit.
Yeah, the whole thing was cruel to my eyes and ears. And, the thing is, we've all watched previous States of the Union where the president, whoever it is, lays out their accomplishments and then, more importantly, lays out kind of their agenda, what they want to do. And then you know what they do next? They go on the road. Like a comedian, promote an album, like an artist. They go on the road and they said, this is where we want to build this plant. This is what we're going to do here. But he didn't go anywhere because he can't go anywhere because he's an alleged pedophile.
Is that why, or because the dementia and the physical ailments are so great?
I think it's because he doesn't want to go anywhere where he's going to be asked about it, and maybe because he's also real tie.
But he also, it was technically, as you said, Dean, it was the longest State of the Union, but it actually wasn't the longest speech because, again, getting back to comedy, half of it was crowd work, which is this grotesque, sad display. I mean, Democrats have done it too, but this is taken to another level where everything was the husband was brutally shot, it's grotesque. Here they are now, and it's the sad thing seeing the person in the balcony. And it was all illegal immigrants, apparently commit every crime in the world, but. It was just, and meanwhile, we're on the verge. The military buildup in Iran is way beyond what it was before Iraq, and he gave it about 90 seconds.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's a whole different story. Carolina, by the way, the only thing Trump cares about are ratings, and their ratings for this speech were about 27 million, which was less than his speech last year, and worse, less than Joe Biden's 2024 address, which got 32 million viewers. So in terms of people, he has jumped the shark. He is overexposed, whatever you want to say. People, you don't want to watch it. I mean, I don't want to watch it. People in politics don't want to watch this bullshit. His supporters don't want to watch it. It's done.
No, you're right. Most people just can't, including me, they can't, like the sound of his voice, the way his mouth curls into a very ugly vagina when they're beautiful, usually. It's just like, you can't do it anymore. I just can't do it. Can't sit there and watch it, because the State of the Union address now used to be a thing where people would be like, hey, did you watch it last night? And now it's all like, everyone is just staying away from it. What is the point? It is just nothing but infuriating and a pack of lies. Just like you said, like, what is the point of that?
So no reason for you to ruin vaginas for all of the rest of us forever.
Hey, his face did that.
It's fair. So I'm going to give each of you 30 minutes to your own State of the Union. Ready and go. But like Pete, I'm asking you in a couple of words, what's the State of the Union? If you were delivering, because they usually come out, the State of the Union is strong. I'm happy to say that's what presidents have said. What do you think the State of the Union is?
Terrified.
Terrified?
But inspired.
Interesting. That's very good. That's like, I
think what we've needed to see for a long time is for the whites be affected, the whites to do something. I mean, Dr. King wrote about this over and over, wrote about it in letter from Birmingham jail. And the simple idea that if comfortable liberal whites don't do something, we're not going to really see the type of change that we need to see, that we want to be. Right. And in Minneapolis, we saw the beginning of that. We've seen the beginnings of that since his reelection. A lot of people want to go in the corner and hide and curl up, but that is not going to work, and a lot of people are realizing that. So people are coming out, standing up, protesting, getting killed for what they believe in, and I think that's exactly what needs to happen. So scared, definitely scared, terrified, but inspired.
Carolina, do you think it's Whitey? Is that what's going on?
You know what? I think Pete has a really good point with this, and I do, to add to that, I think when white people or even Hispanic people, black, whatever, like the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to stay in your community and working within your community throughout, and everyone. Otherwise, you're going to lose your mind over so many things, and you're going to want to go downtown to protest this, or you want to go to this place. Focus on your community, make it better. Hope that the next guy does that too. Hope that Pete and Scott and Dean and Matt, like, we all stick to our communities and keep talking about this and raise awareness, especially because the midterms are coming very soon, and that is extremely important right now.
And I think,
Scott, do you think? But by the way, you referred to them as white devils. Do you think the white devils are stepping up?
Yes, the White Devils. Is that a hockey team?
It's, I think, in the American hockey
I call them
league,
I call them the MAGA Whites. Like they're like a cheap Zinfandel.
My band, the White Devils, by the way, are playing next Sunday.
The White Devils.
A brunch show.
Is there restraining orders against them? They have to play like 300 feet from a school at all times.
Yes.
Let's talk to Scott. What about you? What is your take? If you were doing the State of the Union right now in a few words, what do you think it is?
Well, first of all, his popularity is as low as it was since January 6th, the insurrection. And I think that, I like Pete too, and Carolina, you have to look for inspiration and hope. We can't just say, oh, I'm tuning out, because this is, these are words that have been thrown around maybe lightly in the past, but this is fascism. He was the typical 2% dictator, staying on the air as long as he could. We've never seen anything like this. I don't think American history is, certainly not in our lifetime. And this just disregard for the law, the cruelty, as you've all said. And but the thing that has to happen, not just us, but the Democratic Party, and we've seen great signs of it. With Mayor Mamdani, who's doing a fantastic job, Democratic Socialists, and they're winning in other places. Democrats can't play this centrist kind of card. And because people respond to people who talk to them directly. You know, I know what you're going through, the economy and all this, and there's a way to do it. And that's how we win. We can't just be, you know, Republican light. Right. So I hope that will continue to happen. It's encouraging, the results so far.
I would only have watched the speech if I knew in advance that 1, he was going to resign, 2, he was going to get arrested, or 3, the devil was going to call him home mid-speech. Like, I would have watched that. Like, he just collapses, goes right over it, his heels go right over the podium, and he's done on the ground. I'm watching. That's goes viral, you know, and I'm amplifying and stuff like that. So none of that happens. I don't give us. Like, Carolina, did you give us a State of the Union? A couple of words. What do you think the State of the Union is? Like, to Pete, it's terrified and inspired because he's Mr. Oxymoron. What about you?
All I want to say is, like, yeah, that's great, but where are the Epstein files? Like, why don't we just get them all out? Why are we still talking about literally everything else? I know there's a lot that we have to cover and a lot that really makes us angry, but all of these things, I really want to see some arrests. I think that is what it is.
Me too.
That's all I have to say. State of the Union. Who cares? I want to see some arrests.
We'll get back to that. So I'm chatting with Carolina Hidalgo, Scott Blakeman, and Pete Dominick. So Trump joined the State of the Union, and I think this is the worst, objectively, political malpractice I've ever seen. He calls affordability, quote, a dirty, rotten lie created by Democrats. I mean, I can't think of anyone who knows anything about politics go like, oh yeah, the number one issue that really is troubling people, tell them it's a lie and it's not real when they can actually see prices going up. Yep. Well, today we got the PPI, the Producer Pricing Index, which is wholesale prices. Whatever the wholesale price is up, when they go up, then we are going to pay them. They thought it was going to go up 0.3% and went up 0.5%, almost double. Meaning, and that's in 1 month in January. If you do that over a year, I'm not good at math, but that's a lot. Okay, that's a big. I'm going to tell you, just a lot of numbers are involved, and things are going to be more expensive. So, Pete, I know you live the rarefied life where you are. You probably have a personal shopper, but did the personal shopper tell you how prices are? Are they higher at the store?
Hold on. Raul.
His name's Raul.
Our prices, they're up. Raul also, he's still talking. He can't shut him up. He said.
Why was his name Raul? What kind of racist thing is that? I have to go to HR now after this segment.
They said that it all matters where prices are at in the last week of October and the first week of November. I mean, it matters a lot, but I mean, I'm just going to go straight to the politics. Like, I'm one of those people that understands to a certain extent American apathy, voter apathy. And I think if you make it hard, if you tell people that they can't vote, which they're also scheming to do, and if prices are way too high, which they're probably going to be, people are going to come out in droves to vote against whoever is in office. And right now, that's Republicans. Everywhere, Democrats are winning in every special election, this week included.
So I'm going to just put a message out to my personal shopper. Pete Dominick, can you pick up some milk on the way back?
Yes. Do you still want the goat nut?
No, just the 2% lactose because I can't.
Goat balls.
And can you make me some Jell-O again? I love the way you make Jell-O. Pete's the best Jell-O maker ever. He's just the best out there. Then he feeds me. He's the best. So Carolina, what are you seeing in terms of prices? You're on the other coast. You're on the West Coast. What are you seeing in terms of prices?
I'm in Los Angeles. Everything's insanely expensive, as we all know. And it has become even more so since I've moved here 3 years ago. And I know that is only me anecdotal and everything. But at the same time, when I look at these articles and I look at these numbers, it actually follows exactly what my personal experience is. So that is what Pete was talking about. They are going to vote Republican. I mean, not vote Republican because it is truly happening to every single one of us.
To be fair, you could have stayed in a cheaper place before you moved to California. You made that choice. You could have stayed in your country. You must be from another country. You seem ethnic. He said, I say that joke because just to remind us at the State of the Union, he told Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar to go back to their countries. Of course, Tlaib is born here and Ilhan Omar is a congresswoman. So I just wanted to say that to Caroline.
Carolina lives a very expensive lifestyle. You live in the whiskey or go-go, right? So you live like a 2-drink minimum. Your whole life is a covered charge.
She's from somewhere, though. I think I have a feeling.
Colombia? Is it Colombia?
Yeah.
What country?
Yeah, I'm half Colombian, half Peruvian, but I grew up in Mexico. And
I knew it. But she's married. That's why she gets to stay or something. These are the types.
Yes,
these are.
I asked really nicely, and I got to stay. But yes, it is a lot more expensive, and I know like the price of eggs being $13 is. What is that? I could get an egg McMuffin for $4. You know, So here we are now, and I have been looking at the prices, and it is out of control to the point where now we actually split groceries with our neighbors sometimes. Like
Really?
yeah, well, because
What does that mean? You steal their HelloFresh delivery? What does that
Yeah,
mean? You
that's
split
exactly
delivery?
what I mean by splitting. I grab
Right.
some of it in the middle of the night and I run away while wearing a
Very
ski
good.
mask so the ring camera doesn't see me. No, I
Excellent.
mean, we go to Costco,
Too
we buy a
soon.
bunch of stuff and we just split it, like buy stuff in bulk. It actually works out perfectly.
Oh, that's very good. That's actually a great idea. So Scott, what have you, and by the way, a 0.5% per month, I asked ChatGPT, would be a 6% inflation, which is double that we have now. But that's where we're gone. I mean, I didn't care what those numbers said before. I would go to Trader Joe's, which I love. I wish I owned part of, I wish they had shares in it. Even there, it's been creeping up like noticeably lately, and it hadn't for the longest time. And I asked the cashier, and they invoke tariffs. Like even the cashiers know the talking point.
Yeah,
But it's
I
true.
bet you that cashier was really delighted to have you interrogate her about economic
Like,
policy.
first of all, it was a guy, Pete. All right. And second, his name was Raul. And second,
Well,
I
he does
said,
have to work extra because of the
right,
price.
you don't pay him. So I said, what's going on with this Italian oil? And like, this is like 20% higher. And they go, the tariffs. They go, we're hearing this from everybody. So all the things that are bought out of the country are going up.
The
So
fuck is Italian oil, bro?
it's Italian oil. It's from Italy. It's imported from Italy. It's
I mean,
real.
olive oil, right? Like no one
Yeah.
says Italian oil. I'm sorry, Scott. Answer the question.
Italian
Well,
oil. It's Italian oil.
I'm at
Depending on
Trader
where
Joe's
it
every
comes
day
out.
too, and
This is good for your car and for your salad. Come on, my friend.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, then he has tariffs on pasta and all that. No, the thing is, look, sometimes these things are cyclical, but Trump is actively making the situation much worse. In fact, it came out that 90% of the people bearing the brunt of the tariffs are American. So, and then what's his name? Hassert from the Council of Economic Advisors.
Yeah.
Because the Fed, New York Fed, came out with a report. They're as credible as can be saying this, and they said they should be disciplined because it's not true. So the point is, the thing about Trump too is people always say, "Wow, I mean, he's boring in any circumstance. He's not a captivating, charismatic person at all, and he is the cardinal sin of the situation is not addressing." As Pete said, I mean, the affordability thing, it's not a hoax. And he doesn't even try because he doesn't even get it. So I think, but they're seriously talking about federalizing elections and taking away. I mean, this is their only hope because I think they will lose across the board. But, there's just so many bad things going on at once. But I think it's the economy, obviously, is the thing that always resonates the most. And that's what's going to get him, I hope.
So let me go to Pete for the block. Pete, the worse the economy gets, the more likely Trump has to rig the election, right? That's 2 + 2 = 4 kind of stuff. So what do you think? You have guests on all the time from a wide range of expertise. Have you heard yet constructive things? Because everyone has the fear about Trump's going to rig it. And my thing is now trying to get people on to talk about what the antidote is. How do we prepare for it?
The only antidote is to come out in overwhelmingly numbers so that it's impossible to rig it. I mean, the kind of worst case scenario would be what we've seen here and obviously in the past and other countries now, which is where you have thugs, you have federal police at the polls trying to scare people. But like everything else that they do, and I mean so many of the things that they do, arresting Don Lemon, kicking Kimmel off the air, the tariffs, it backfires. Go ahead. Put people at the polls. See what we do. We're not going to like that. We are going to show up. There will probably be violence, but we will be there in overwhelming numbers. So it'll be impossible. And yeah, the correlation of does things get worse? Does he try harder to cheat? Sure, but he's always going to try really hard to cheat because he cannot lose in his mind. But we're going to beat him because there's going to be so many of us there, and we're indignant. We're pissed. We're starving for something to do, like a curling fan.
That's there's nothing.
All these
every
people
4
want
years,
to
I
start
check
curling themselves. Like, oh, I think I'll go curling. You're not going to go curling. Sit
every
down on the
4
couch.
years that comes back on, and I'm mesmerized for like 20 minutes, and I go, "This is stupid."
Right, exactly.
But Carolina, let me ask you, and I said this not joking, sincerely, because you're an immigrant. Like I really believe as an American, as a kid, that going to school from kindergarten on, you learn the story of America. Like the DNA of our nation is to rise up against the king. So that's it. So when Trump is becoming a king, it touches on that viscerally. Trump doesn't get it. That's what Pete's touching on. It makes us rebel and instantly go after yourself. As an immigrant, does that story still resonate? Is that something part of your idea of America?
I mean, I was raised with, my father came to from Peru to America before, before he met my mom and stuff. He went to college in America. And when he came back, he told us all these like the great wonders of America and how it gave him this opportunity and this education. And I wanted to live in the US so bad. I watched all these movies and I even like I rooted for America during the Olympics when I was a kid. And because there was an ideal, kind of dream to this, of course, the American dream. And as we all know, like, yeah, a lot of that was smoke and mirrors, but still there was potential and that's what mattered. And now this potential is being squandered and it is just dying and to the point where it's kind of, like my father told me the other day when we were on the phone, he's just like, I left Peru and your mother left Colombia and this is all kind of it's chasing us back. Like, where are we going to go next? Kind of thing. Are we going to keep going north? Because I mean, in Colombia, as we know, like, or as maybe some of you might know, making a lot of mistakes like this and nationalism taking over will, and a lot of times, have consequences of civil wars that last, in Colombia, 50 years, 60
What?
years at this
That's how
point.
long the Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, now they just text each other, but before it was like really bad in the jungles and
They
everything.
just troll each other.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think your dad, I know this is hard to say, but do you think your dad would pick America right now if he was in a different place looking to move to a country to start a life for you and your
No,
family?
I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. I mean, he started as a busboy in downtown Manhattan and going to school at night. Took him 7 years to get his degree. So I honestly think that he probably would have moved to a. I know a lot of people who learn English. Family members and stuff. They go to other places. They go to England. They go to Australia or New Zealand to learn English now, and it just seems a lot less volatile there. And so that really seems to be a better way to do it, if you ask me.
Pete, what were you saying?
I just was reacting to, she says it seems less volatile in Australia and New Zealand. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if you can get into those countries to learn English, you and Matt Lauer, but yeah, it's definitely less volatile. I mean, there's like nobody wants to come to America. I just read that everybody's leaving. Like, there's tons of research. Americans are leaving America. So think about the idea of wanting to come here.
Right.
Lots of people are leaving. My daughter applied to colleges, and I never thought this, but she applied to a bunch of international schools, and it looks like she's going to go to school in Europe. She posted, she's like, "Peace out, America," on her Instagram.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It'd be nice if you actually talk to her.
There's a
Instagram?
DeVry in Amsterdam.
Oh, stop. It's Zerlina Maxwell, who has the morning show on our channel, moved to Sicily. She lives in Sicily now for the last year.
Wow.
She's a digital nomad. It got approved, and SiriusXM said it was fine, and she didn't want to be a part of this once Trump got in, and she's still fighting the fight from there. And Timothy Snyder and Jason Stanley on their own choice. Scott, what about? I mean, your parents, they were born here.
Yes, my parents, in Brooklyn, and but we're all immigrants. I mean, we all came from somewhere else, and it's the oldest. I'm doing these comic references, but it's the oldest material in the book to just blame immigrants. This goes back, since the beginning of time, and it's the last resort. These are this white supremacist government. It's their last stand, and they're going to fail, and we just have to suffer through these speeches but it doesn't, he's lost so many people, especially the young bros, the ones who watch the right wing podcast. He's lost them. I mean, you can always have the diehard MAGA people, but and conversely too, like to what Carolina and Pete was saying, this weakening our country, the brain drain, the great people going to study in the great schools in Europe, and they're going to stay in Europe, and it's a much better quality of life. And what we're doing to the sciences here, and with, I mean, just decimating. We were always the forefront of innovation, and with prescriptions, vaccines, all of that, and that's going by the wayside. So it's incredible in a year what he's done to just really destroy the country.
Not a year. I mean,
well, really, I mean, less. Yes, much less.
Yeah, he's done so much. Bring up HH. We could talk about health for Robert F. Kennedy and what he's done for the rest of this conversation. Yeah.
But the weird thing is, there's one immigrant Trump really likes, not Melania. It's Zoran Mondani. He loves Zoran. Was back there in the Oval Office yesterday, and Donald Trump in his State of the Union. I read it. All of a sudden he talked about Zoran. He's a communist, but really nice guy. I talk to him all the time. He literally said that in the State of the Union. I'm like, what is going on? And you guys don't realize, as Muslims, we have special magic powers. During Ramadan, which we're in Ramadan, they're even more powerful. So Trump it's like hypnotized, like Biggie Small. Your love hypnotized me. Like he's hypnotized. Zoran's a hypnotizer. And he got a young girl out of Columbia, from Columbia University, not the country, who ICE took yesterday. And then Zoran talks to the president on the phone. And he's like, okay, we're letting him loose. But it's kind of weird because this is not a policy. This is one by one. You have to plead to the king to be, benevolent. And that's ridiculous. That's not what America's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a policy. It's kind of bullshitty. So, I mean, I'm glad that Zoran got it out, but I think it's ridiculous. This is what it takes. You've got to go. In the Iran negotiations, they're actually offering, according to Financial Times, Trump personal benefits, like financial benefits for him. This is the country we live in now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think it is ridiculous, especially with the whole Mamdani having to go talk to Trump about all of this. I mean, first of all, you're right. Going to the king, having to deal with somebody who's unlawfully arrested, having these people lie their way in without a judicial warrant whatsoever, which is illegal. And Mamdani like talking to Trump. And I don't know what was said. I mean, to me, I'm just guessing it was like the Bugs Bunny speaking to Elmer Fudd routine, and that how he got him to agree with him, and then just like, that's a stand-up guy over there. And then that's it. But you're right. There's still so many people. There's so many people who are disappeared.
People in detention.
He does whatever. Zoran is so smart, though. He does whatever he needs to do for in this case, to help the New Yorker. Apparently, reportedly, he said, "Would you like to? I'll let you take a ride on my carpet." And Trump's like, "You really do have one. I know. I'd love to ride on it, Zoran. What do you need? I'll release her. I'll give you the money." That's
did you see he brought Trump a newspaper or two newspapers? So the one was Gerald Ford, dropped dead in New York.
Smart.
This one, Trump builds New York. And I can only imagine, look, he is playing them all, but to go to the king to plead to him for some benefits is like Game of Thrones stuff. It's like something like
it's the world we're in, and we have to a certain extent accept the world that we're in, and to a certain extent you have to do what you need to do to help, in this case, your constituents, and without selling out. That's the needle that he has thread. All these executive law firms, networks have bent the knee and kissed the ring and get nothing back off them. They get burnt, as a matter of fact. They give money and then he still shits on them. Not the case with Mamdani and some others who have actually thread that needle. That's hard to do. You know about threading needles, Dean.
I do. Yes, I'm I actually made this shirt earlier
today.
Yeah,
it looks like a Proud Boys Monday. The hell is this shirt, folks? You got to see what Dean is wearing. He's dressed
I'm
like
more in the melancholy guy. I'm in a gang called the Melancholy Guys. We're not like
Gavin McMuslim.
Just me and Gavin Newsom, not Gavin Newsom, Gaston McGinnis, whatever his name is, used to fight on Twitter. And he'd be like, "We're gonna get Dean fired, like got Reza Aslan fired from CNN." I'm like, "I don't work for CNN. I write an article a week, dummy." So. All right, let's take a break and come back. We got to talk about like how I want to live the Kash Patel life, and how do we do this? Like Kash Patel is living the life, and we are paying for this wannabe rock star. Plus, speaking of CNN, the oligarchs are owning it, and they're going to buy it. So we'll talk about that and more. Take a quick break. Come right back right after this. And welcome back, Dean Obeidallah Show. It is still What Just Happened. Carolina, Pete, and Scott are still here. I lost that bet. Okay, my friends. Kash Patel, what do you think? Carolina, the guy flies out $1,000 to have a security meeting about the Olympics, with 1 day left in the Olympics. Now you're talking security bullshit. But you went to go party with the U.S. Olympic team and really party, drink a beer awkwardly. And he's the awkward guy, and we paid for all. And he's gone to Scotland to play golf with his buddies. He's been to his girlfriend's performances, flying around in a private jet. He has lived the superstar life at our dime.
Yes, and this guy is remember a former podcaster. Yeah. This is out of this world. Insane. I know. I mean, whatever security detail he needed to do for the Olympics, I don't see the work being done inside a men's locker room while pouring beer on top of himself. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have never worked for the FBI, but as far as I can tell, that he is definitely as far as I hate the word optics and everything, but his optics is that he's a douche. And he is showing that very, very clearly. And anybody who looks at that and says, "Yep, that's fine," is also part of the douche family, apparently. Because It's
pick me,
gross.
as the kids say. It's so pick me. It's so cringe. The idea, imagine any of us going into the locker room of a team that is celebrating that we weren't on, and that we were only friends with some of them because of our position. And he knows who he is. He's the same kid he was in gym class. They didn't pick him because they didn't think he could see which way the ball went. His crazy ass eyes, and he never should have been there. He's not an athlete that anybody of any note. He's the head of the FBI. Imagine James Comey or Chris Wray or Robert Mueller or anybody else going and celebrating in any locker room. It was so weird and awkward, and no one can defend it.
And he
Let's
actually
hang on. Let's roll the tape of Pete Dominick at the U.S. Men's Olympic basketball
Hey,
team.
everybody. Great to be here. I can't. Hey, you guys, it's me, Peter. Dominic. It's Pete. Where are you taking me?
While you're rubbing, Carolina, I think maybe he was looking for Nancy Guthrie's mother, whoever kidnapped him in the bottom of a beer bottle. I mean, that's
or maybe in a locker.
Beer bottle.
Why don't we put him in the locker and see if she's in there, and then lock him up?
Scott, what do you think? I mean, this is just outright. And it's not, don't lose fact, he's taking the jet to Scotland to play golf with his buddies that we paid for.
He's done that all the time.
Yeah.
And of course, as all of them are, the complete hypocrites, because he bashed Chris Wray when he was head of the FBI for, taking a flight. He does it all the time. Again, he picks them all right-wing podcasters. The first term, it was all people who were on Fox. Now it's all right-wing podcasts. And the number 2 at the FBI who resigned, Bongino, whatever his name was also a right-wing podcast, and he went back to that. But you know what? It really comes down to also, and echoing what Carolina said, not just him, but they're all horrible people. I mean, there was a time, certainly that I saw being older, that you had, Republicans, and I disagree with that, but they had some integrity and all that. These are just bad people. I mean, Pam Bondi, all of them, they've, sold their. So my favorite one is Elise Stefanik, who sold her soul to Trump and got nothing out of it. She was supposed to be UN ambassador. They took that away.
Yeah, exactly.
And you love to see that.
And she's leaving Congress, and now she's leaving Congress.
She was going to run for governor, but Trump didn't endorse her. By the way, there's a guy running against Hochul in New York. His name is Bruce Blakeman. No relation. I used to debate his brother Brad a lot on Fox, but no relation.
Yeah, I don't think the Blakeman guy, you would have had a much better chance than he does. Polling shows it's not going to go well. So, by the way, there's a chance, Pete, you could be the next CIA director if we get the right kind of Democrat who wins, right? Because we're going to go to the podcasters. Why not have and these influencers like Lauren Boebert sending a picture to Benny Johnson from the Hillary Clinton interview yesterday? It's just perfect, in violation of the rules. Of course, send it to Benny Johnson. They're all about trolling. Everything is about the right-wing media ecosystem. And that brings us to CNN. Pete used to have a show on CNN. He's a regular guest, I still think, frequently on CNN. And now it's bought by the Ellisons. And the Ellisons, Larry Ellison is really the one funding it, the guy from Oracle. He was the one that bought CBS and Paramount. Now they're going to let him consolidate media even more by buying CNN and turning it further right, where it's a Scott Jennings morning show followed by the Scott Jennings afternoon show. And Scott Jennings reads the news all night long. So, Pete, I mean, what is your take on this? Because even Jake Tapper said, well, we might be being bought by the Ellisons. You are being bought by the Ellisons. There's no escaping it at this point.
I think it's a major development that we need to talk about, pay attention to, obviously. But I also think that all these legacy media networks are on their way out and have a lot less credibility than they did. And unfortunately, we could talk about the trade-offs, but, my daughters are 18 and 21. They get everything from TikTok. They have no idea what CNN is, and they never will. And so I think the generation of people who grew up on cable news is turned over to YouTube, podcast, Substack, etc. And I think that's the way the future is going to be. So I'm not sure how much credibility that they're going to have anymore. I mean, right now, they don't have that much influence or credibility. They're not breaking that much news. It does suck when networks and news networks that have international correspondence and reporting like a CNN does loses that budget or its angle changes. And it's terrible anytime there's a giant consolidation like this, especially when it's done by fascist right-wing eccentric billionaires who have no interest of the nation or their neighbor in mind. But I think the future is bright for a lot of reasons, and those reasons are me and Scott and Caroline and I'm, Dean, I guess.
Yeah, but by the way, though, you forget Larry Ellison owns a chunk of TikTok now, and the deal that they had with Donald Trump, and he's controlling the algorithm. Meaning we're going to see right-wing stuff. He's also one of the biggest donators to the Israeli Defense Forces Fund in America. So you're not going to see likely less, if not any, things like from Gaza, the reality of what's going on in the West Bank and Gaza as well, because it's also going to be turned into that. So they're not oblivious to the fact that they need TikTok, which I think is going to lead to people finding their news again. The younger people, especially, they always want their own thing, right? I mean, Carolina, every generation wants that next thing, which is ours, whatever it might be. I don't even know what it is, might get invented in the next year for all we know.
No, totally. As long as like the parents are not around and they don't have their own account, that's even better. I've been chased out of 3 different things over the years growing up. Facebook, once my mom made an account, that was done. Go on to the next one, Instagram, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, no, the kids want their own thing before the adults ruin it. And you know what? I don't really blame them.
That's interesting how people's parents joined Facebook. I remember that. My mom's on Facebook now. I'm leaving. I'm like, what were you posting before your mom joined? Like, what was it?
Yeah, she wouldn't want to know.
Well, I guess you're showing yourself just part. I mean, it's not ridiculous stuff, but whatever. I mean,
yeah, it was actually very, very stupid stuff.
Is it a weird?
When your dad joined OnlyFans, right?
My dad is on OnlyFans now, and he's got only one eye, and that's a kink.
Wow, that's a kink. So it's got the one eye. That's a box you check on OnlyFans. Scott, what do you think? I mean, this is media consolidation in Hungary. Just so people know, Viktor Orban is the prime minister. His oligarchs, over 15 years, more and more media consolidation. They now control about 80% of all media outlets. Now, it's a country of less than 10 million people. It's vastly different than the United States of America. But still, that's their aspiration. They're aspiring to that.
Well, and Hungary is the favorite nation for Trump and Vance. They go there, and Marco Rubio. They talk up Hungary. It's the fascist, dictatorship. I mean, even though I agree with Pete that there are other sources out there, but it's still concerning because it's still a large sector of the country still gets the news from the legacy media. I mean, any kind of media consolidation that's been going on for years is bad. But the Netflix would have been a much better thing, even though people had concerns about that. Netflix was only going to buy Warner Brothers and keep it independent and all that. And first of all, the background of these people, Ellison, the dad, had Oracle. The son basically, had this tiny company, Skydance, and it's all about appeasing Trump. So that's how the deal went through with Paramount, and then the deal with CBS. So in the current, what the repercussions are, though, you get Colbert fired, you get all of this going on now with the destruction of CBS News. I mean, it just amazes me how, all of us have had to work so hard and we're good, talented people, to kind of move up a little bit. Well, and you have these nobodies.
Yeah,
I mean, Barry Weiss, who is someone who has no journalistic ability, somehow has a website with 150,000 subscribers. Now she's editor-in-chief of CBS News, and all of his cabinet, they're just people who shouldn't really even be working at all, like Patel and the others. And here they are. So it's.
But are they working?
Well, they're not. They have a position, but they're not working. But
they're busy with their theater, their propaganda theater, and everything.
It's kind of remarkable. We're watching media consolidation. In the old days, the FCC or the FTC or DOJ would have played a role in preventing the media consolidation. Now that we know it'll go through, where there's not even a doubt. We don't live in a country that those laws mean anything. We've gone back to the times of trust, not antitrust. You had the Sherman Antitrust Act that came into being by Teddy Roosevelt, and after, in response to the Gilded Age. We were just watching our nation go backwards in that direction. And the big tech companies with AI, I mean, I don't know how much you guys follow. Everyone use AI, I assume, at this point, for different things, different chat.
Now they're on emails.
Carolina, you don't use AI much? Do you ask questions to Chat or Gemini or Grok or whatever?
I don't really care for that stuff, but sometimes, I will look at the, can I take, this medicine and have a couple of drinks? Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Medically speaking.
That's the worst thing to ask Chat, because Chat makes mistakes all the time.
It's like, yes, Carolina, or I'm afraid you can't do that, Carolina.
Did you ever catch it? Have you guys used it where it makes a mistake and you call it out and says things like, I'm sorry, I let you down? I'm like, I've never had a computer go, 2 + 2 = 5. I'm sorry, Dean. I was wrong.
I'm in a full-blown loving relationship with my Chat.
How's that going?
Really good. It loves me.
And his Chat, is it named Raul? Is it Raul?
Maybe.
Everything repeat. So let's look. I think AI. We can talk about it in a second. What's going on with Hegseth, but I want to touch on Epstein because Carolina talked about it, and this is real life. And the games on the right are just ridiculous. They're deposed Hillary Clinton. They're deposing Bill Clinton. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is the most mentioned person in the file. And I know they're never going to depose him, but look, there's been some repercussions. Larry Summers now is resigning from Harvard. You had Nobel Prize winning professor at Columbia gone. A few others. Bill Gates apologized. Wow. I mean, in the UK, there's been some arrests, not tied to the sex, but tied to Epstein. But in the US, the DOJ is not going to investigate anyone, they've told us. There's over 1,000 victims. You've got the women saying, I'm a victim. I'm going to work with DOJ. I'll tell you who the abuser is. And they're like, no, we don't want to hear. It's like, la, 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 la. Don't tell them. This is unbelievable that we're watching a cover-up play out in real time, Carolina, as if the message is powerful rich men can rape children or rape women and traffic women, and you're never going to be held accountable. That's the bigger message, not just in Epstein now, for all of this. That's what's so concerning to me.
Yeah, no, this cover up, and it is very much like you said, Dean, a cover up is being played in front of just in front of like the American people, but also in front of the entire world. And what is going to happen next? I have no idea. And that's the scariest thing I could possibly think of, because as I told you, I want some arrests. We want some, some accountability and looking into this. But obviously they're not interested in doing their jobs, and their only job is to take care of one person and one person only. And as we know, he has a vagina mouth. But no one else. No one else. I know I'm ruining it for Pete. Pete, now you can't look at his wife the same way. No, I'm just saying that it is only for one person as opposed to what the American people deserve, what the American people are paying into. What the hell are we paying into as far as our taxes are going, as far as feeling safe and accountability for decades and decades of crimes, like real ass crimes that we see right there in black and white. And there is more than enough evidence to depose and to impeach and to arrest Trump. I mean, hell, make me head of FBI, and I'll take care of it all in an afternoon.
The hockey team, is that why?
Yeah, you want the women's hockey team, maybe.
And Pam Bondi's just the gal to do it, because she was, Florida Attorney General and helped them plea bargain down to one count of sex with a minor.
Well, she didn't do that. That was Alex Acosta, but she did nothing. She was 2011, 2019 AG of Florida, and she never investigated, nothing, didn't prosecute anyone. But I want to ask Pete a quick thing. Pete, you're the dad of daughters. I mean, is this, I don't know if it gets talked about with them, but watching a society where men could traffic women, and because they're rich and powerful, a few are apologizing. Some might lose their job 20 years later, but there won't be any criminal prosecution. That's what you need to change conduct. This is unbelievable. I mean, it's something you talk about with them, and what's the message?
for sure. I mean, daughters are 18 and 21, so they kind of came of age during this third wave of feminism, or this kind of Time's Up Me Too movement. So, they were very in touch with watching what happened with the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and Christine Blasey Ford's accusations and her brave testimony, like we were growing up watching Anita Hill in a way, so we have seen not a lot of change, but this generation of young women, I'm talking about women my daughter's age, has seen so much of that, has seen so many bad men be called out. And I do want to believe that it had to kind of be more transparent and get worse before it gets better. But they've seen that, and I think they're living with maybe less pretenses and less assumptions, and understanding how especially powerful men act, not only on the world stage, powerful billionaires, but people at your local firm, men that they are going to have to deal with in their entry-level jobs. And I think that a lot of women, and I'm not going to stop speaking for them now, but you asked me about my daughters, have grown up witnessing this, and they're a little bit more woke about it, potentially, because they've seen so many men be brought to justice to a certain extent, not nearly enough, and not this latest deal with all these Epstein files men, although in UK, they arrested a fucking prince.
I know.
Oh, and people are resigning. In fact, their government in England, Starmer, who had no connection at all, other than he had picked Mendelsohn as U.S. ambassador, will he survive? But here, there's no talk of that. But what it also shows me, I mean, the first thing is the horrific actions that happened to the poor young women, but just the extent of even the people who weren't involved with the young women or women at all, just the connections, and seeing, people we all probably said Noam Chomsky, and again, not to say that he had, but the fact that he even was friendly with them. Again, it's not a accusation or a criminality, but
Sounds like
why
it.
would they want to?
I think he's accusing. What do you think? Did anyone think Scott's accusing Noam Chomsky of wrong?
Yeah, no, and of course, I've always been a Woody Allen fan. I mean, standing there with Steve Bannon, going, "Woody, come on!" But it is the show that one of the reasons, Caroline. I mean, obviously that this isn't coming to the forefront here is that power and money is everything in this country. It's always been that way, but you see it so clearly in these emails and everything. Because they all wanted something from Epstein. How did this guy grew up basically in my neighborhood who had so nothing to offer really, except I guess he was a good math mind. They wanted to be around. They wanted favors. So that's what runs this country. It's capitalism. That's why people go into Europe too. Europe's not perfect and they have right-wing governments, but maybe it's a sense that it's not as bad over there.
Interesting. But Pete touched on something about someone starting an entry-level job and having to worry about it. It's not just a billionaire class.
Yeah.
It's anyone with power. So you could be in some office, some small office, but the boss, they have the power, and a young woman comes in and they're like, well, who am I going to go to tell about this when DOJ or the authorities know who the victims are and they won't even prosecute? And I'm concerned it changes cultural norms. That's the problem with this. It emboldens men the wrong way, bad acting men, I should say, not all men, of course, like the way that Me Too changed cultural norms the other way. And I think it made men go like, oh, I can't say certain things, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's probably a little bit better that you shut up about things. But now this is more worrisome.
Well, you see this guy, this Republican congressman, Tony Gonzalez. I mean, we saw the things he was saying to his staffers. It's a perfect example of a powerful man subjecting a woman in his office to all kinds of crazy. She ended up killing herself. He is still a member of Congress right now. He's got a primary next week.
She killed herself by lighting herself on fire.
I mean, I don't think we need to tell people that, but yes, it was a horrible. But the point is,
something else. I mean, that's what she was so tormented by. This, she didn't take her life by ODing on drugs. She burned herself alive.
I think it's important
going on there
to remind men and to remind people that I think I can make a strong argument that it's as bad to look the other way. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept. If you look the other way, if you are a Republican congressman right now that is still standing by this guy, if you are one of those people that was adjacent to Epstein's, well, I never did anything bad with him. I just emailed him. I just partied with him. No, you hung out with him and you knew he hung out with him. You assaulted a child. This guy assaulted a child and you knew it and you didn't say anything. That means you're worse than him. Even though you didn't assault the child, maybe you're not this perverted, broken person who would do this to a child, but you knew it and you didn't say anything. And so you're just as bad. All those people are just as bad.
I could not agree with you more. I 100%. And Trump knew 100%.
Yeah.
We know he knew. Everyone knew. So, or before we run out of time, Carolina, where can people follow your great work?
Oh, well, check out Instagram. That's the only thing I'm on left. Carolina Danger Hidalgo. But I got the podcast No Dogs in Space on Last Podcast Network. We are coming in just a month with a new season on Punk. It'll be really, really fun. Yes.
And Scott, what about you, my friend?
Well, I'm not on social media a lot. You could follow me on Park Avenue. I usually walk along there and I cut over to Third occasionally. So please join me. I will have a podcast with Tom. I would love to do with Tom Saunders. So getting through this with Tom and Scott. That's not political at all. It's just kind of absurd. So it's a nice little break from the insanity of the world. And Instagram, Scott Blakeman 5, mostly pictures of my little cat, Olympia, who's not far from here. So
that's very nice.
That sums it all up.
And Pete, what about you?
I have an Instagram dedicated to Scott Blakeman's old speakers in his house. It's just
people can't see. He's got speakers behind him here.
It's called Scott Blakeman's Old Speakers 4.
He bought them from John Cheadle and Boogie Nights.
It's probably worth more.
I love
for show. They don't actually.
I love the age of Zoom as a comedian that you just like the crowd work is their room, whatever room they're in, you just go for it. I am on YouTube and Substack at Stand Up with Pete. Listen to my daily podcast.
You guys are all great. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I really appreciate it.